This one has been waiting its turn for a long time. It's time to get it finally on the repair bench. Turns out this is an SD45-2, but it doesn't have those big porches to sit and have your lunch on at the front or the back of it. Always so confusing. But it does have a box. I know the history of this one here. This one came in from one of the donations of the Lynn McCurdy collection with the High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club down there in the southern part of California that's not on fire right now. This is DCC, and it's got sound. Lynn says that it has a mind of its own. Does whatever it wants to do. It's erratic. So let's see if we can get it fired up on the track, see what it does or doesn't do. I bet you it'll make noise, and then it'll run just like half a second, and then quit. And there'll be no noise, and there'll be no nothing, because they like to do that, because of DCC. Yeah, but we still got to learn how to work on them, right? I mean, they're trains too. Let's see what this thing can do. I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. So we got the cab address in of 5698. That's what it says on the side of it there. Give it the old number 8, twist the wick on it. Unleash the lightning. Unleash it again. Oh, there we go. Come on, baby. Come on. Aha. Pump the throttle, I guess. Sure. Headlights work? I don't see him. Oh, the horn latch is on and stays on. Uh-huh. All right then. Okay, all right, stop. Oh, there's just so much. Okay. Give it some go in the forward position. Well, it went for a while and then it stopped. Go backwards. Okay, quit going backwards. My God, somebody's got the momentum set on it hard. Crazy. Oh, no. Okay. I'm pushing all the option buttons here. Does the strobe? Forward does stuff. Sounds. Sure. More sounds. Who knows? Now I've got everything turned on here. Turn off this one. Turn off this one. Turn off this one. My God. Headlight. I don't see a headlight on, but that's doesn't mean it's not working. Oh, wrong way. No. Jesus. God. I hate these. Direction. Forward. Now. Oh, there's stuff up ahead. Forgot I left those right there. Oh, now we got a headlight on. I guess I'm going to keep working this thing over and drive it back and forth and see what we got to do, because it so far seems to be doing everything it's supposed to do. It's hard to fix them when they're not broken. So I'm going to do some track time with it. We're on to something here. For one, it doesn't have a speed step 1. And then you go to 2, and then it just darts right off, so the momentum is programmed poorly. But twice now I've backed it across the switch, and we lose everything. Direction, 1, 2 in reverse. It will make the controller, it shorts out. So then the controller's even got to do a reset. Unbelievable. Go to number 8. Do it again. Nachos. Roll the speed up, nothing. So I'm going to say something with the pickups. That's what I'm going to go with. Is it repeatable? Okay, or you can stop now. Good Lord. It's got really bad speed steps in it. Direction, reverse, 1, 2. Makes it through that time. Well, you're just a rotten. Yep, that's good times right there. Intermittent. Still doesn't give us a reason why we can't open her up and lube it, maintain it. Give it some lovin's. That's all they ever really want. Let's get it up on the bench. Well, I learned a lot about this thing. So far, we found out that it's got this fancy sound system in it that uses this controller right here. So if you don't have a DCC controller, you can put this on a standard DC transformer, and you hit these buttons and you're still going to get the sounds, you know, horn and lights and blah, 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 as if it was DC. Interesting. These are some of the earlier ones here. And it uses a battery that nobody uses. So I got to see if I can find one of those, because I'd like to see what this does. This side over here, it's missing this hand railing. So you think you can just go type in SD45-2 hand railing on eBay and get a new one, but no. I had to count the little holes that were in here for the uprights, these ones right here, the excussions, and then make sure that it lined up. There was about 5 or 6 different ones, and I was only able to find one that was in Montana Rail Link blue. So I am going to try to see if this color matches it the most. Then I'm gonna real careful, let that dry, but I got to get on it right now because we got to let the paint dry. It might need 2 coats. And cut this out, and oh my goodness, is it gonna, sounds like it's gonna be a hassle. Maybe I'll take it out before I paint it. Yeah, I'll do that, I think. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I want to do that. And I'm thinking it's probably just gonna need a good wheel cleaning, and we'll take it apart and see what it looks like, you know, get inside here and root around. I wonder how I get the body off. I was hoping that it would have an illustrated parts breakdown, but it don't. God, this has got a lot of features on it. And every time I touch it, I can hear my fingers just dancing around on these things, and I'm going to end up making a mess out of them. I bet you I'm going to take the couplers off the first thing. I'll take that off because there's a screw there. I see 3 screws I can take out. They're coming out, and then we can go from there. Oh, this has got so much detail on it. Golly, I can't believe it. It's just off the chart. Oh, the little steps back here, actually, I'll put on. No wonder these things cost so much. Oh, are these those cheap Cadies? Yes. They're the little plastic ones that aren't even really Cadies. Ew. Okay, anyway, let's see if we can do about getting that painted. These things are tiny. Got it, you got that one, and jeez. There must be like, you're supposed to have a special tool for these, I think. I wonder if this would help. This is almost too big. I'm not liking this at all. It's gonna need some prep work, that's for sure. I think this is that plastic that you can't glue. It's a special plastic. It's got a lot of flexibility to it, but you need CA doesn't make it glue. That's what I'm trying to say. Holy. I can't believe it's not broken. One more. I think, oh. Now I guess I got some hand railings for the next time I run into one of these. Spare parts. Thank goodness for the eBay. People always ask me, they email me, where do you get your parts at? I get them off of eBay. Can't get them in town. I can't call Athearn. Well, maybe I could, but I just expect them to say, oh, we don't produce those anymore, because that's what the manufacturers always do. So you're kind of always on your own. Now I can see all the nibbins where I cut that off at. So now what do I do? Geez, even my files are bigger than that. Well, this one isn't. I guess I will, I don't know what to do. How's a guy file something like that? Maybe I cut it off more. Use something like this. Yeah, that looks better. All right, well, we're gonna detail that up, get ready to put a coat on it. I'm gonna use this guy. I think I'll get a new blade for it. I guess I use this as a screwdriver sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty dull. Clean that up some more. Well, this thing said it needs an A23-12. And I'm guessing this is gonna work as it says 23 and it's a 12 volter. So all the Ace had. We looked it up on the computer and they say it'll work. I ain't never used one of these before. I've run a DCC on DC, and all you get is just the engine noise. You don't get much lighting or anything like that. So this is going to be kind of a first. This antenna is silly. Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah. Let's DC this thing and see what it does. I do know that the throttle's got to be round up about 50%. No, there it is. 60%. Button 1 is supposed to make the bell ring. Oh, look at that. 2 will blow the horn. 3's couplers. Yeah. 4 is the brakes. And 6 is headlights on and off. Look at that. The thing is beeping. And here we go with DC power. And that controller is made to do this, so we can do this all day. Oh. I turned it down below half. Let's try the turnouts here. And see if it makes them through them without stalling. So far, so good. Turn it around. Directional lights are doing their thing. Plus, you got a better creep speed on DC. Well, fantastic. Well, that's just like having DCC without all the headaches. So it's like a hit number 6. Oh, of course, we're in reverse. Let's go this way. So now we got the headlights on. You hit 6. That's supposed to put them in park. Looks like it also turns off our strobe right there. Huh. I can't see nothing wrong with that. Be nice if it would talk. Here's our railing so far. Just one coat on each side. That's the color. And painting yellow over blue, that's not very easy. I'm kind of thinking they inject it in the color it's supposed to be. I don't know if this is going to come out very well. Confidence is not high. That thing did seem to be kind of glitchy. It had weird things taking place. And it makes me wonder, I don't know much about the DCC stuff, but every time I make a video, I get one more smarter by doing research on it and stuff like that. This flyer that came in, this was in the box. and it's got a production date on the back of it. Under here it says 2006. I did some digging around, come to find out this is a MRC, a Model Rectifier Corporation, their first attempt at making a DCC decoder with sound. And the best I can tell, it doesn't 100% conform to the NMRA DCC standards. That's why some things are a little different. You can always kind of tell when you're going to have one of these MRC decoders in, because you're going to get one of these. I believe that they're the only ones that have this option going on right here. And it does run neat on DC only. I mean, it gives you some great options. But it's got some downsides to it too, that we're going to find out here after a little bit. They're already starting to rear their ugly head, and throughout this video, they're going to rear their ugly head also. It appears that 2009 is when Athearn and Soundtrax hopped into bed with each other, and then all of their DCC stuff was made with Soundtrax decoders. I was doing some research on the Google machine, trying to see what the consensus is on the MRC decoders, especially from this era. We all know that they make fantastic transformers. DC, AC transformers, I got one of them. Wonderful. But the decoders, maybe at this generation, maybe at this level, they might have gotten better. But we'll find out as time goes by and I run into a third generation MRC decoder, and it might just be the cat's meow. I don't know. If you guys know though, type it down below. That helps everybody learn. Guys, read the comments on things, and everybody's sharing their wealth. We're not quite halfway through the video yet. We're just getting ready to start the teardown procedure. But since we've got stopped, now's a good time to do classic model of the week. Do you guys know who this is right here? If you do, once again, type it in the comments down below. If you don't, wait until the end. I'll let you know who it is. Let's get back into taking this thing apart and doing some servicing to it. Well, I still want to get inside of it, see what makes it tick. And I'm thinking the couplers are going to have to come off. Screw up here. Ooh, what's this going to take? Goodness. I'm already not liking it. Tight. Okay. So this little box just kind of pulled out with the old, whatever this is. We're going to switch that to Katie. Ick. So pull them out the front. Yeah. First time I'm doing this. Learning as I go. Little pile of couplers. What's this going to do? Usually it doesn't do a dang nothing. It's going to take off this highly detailed thing, which has got details on it that are hanging up under the truck. And I know for a fact that that's going to be the motor. So I'm not going to take those out. I've done that. I've been caught that way too many times. Can I spread this and bring it out? Get it? Oh, God. Oh, I just... Shoot. Hey, there's a screw under that truck right there. I just seen. God, that's the first time I've ever tore anything up by trying to take it apart. First for everything, I suppose, huh? It's not the kind of first I want to have. Here's a screw underneath this truck. In fact, looks like you can go down through it like this to get it out. Is there one on the other side too? Well, that was okay. A lot better. Oh, man. That's a lot of lighting going on, but see, I tore this walkway off right here. I got to get in there and glue that back on. At least it broke at a seam. Sure. Big old speaker. What's this? Is that, that's oil. Okay. Got my good pants on today and wiped them right on it. What do we got to do? So I wish they would have had plugs going here. Why is there so many? God, there's a lot of wires going up. What if that headlight, number boards and headlight maybe? I never paid that much attention. It's bright in here, you know. Thinking. What's this guy doing? It's running around up to the front and then underneath of it. Speaker and plugs right here. So we got the connections, motor drive, pickups. God, I hate those things. Lose them well, I didn't lose that one. I found it, but okay. Wire go down through the top. Get this one off. These are power pickups from the trucks, and the right side and left side, and they're kind of self-explanatory there. The motor drive wires, they didn't make them any extra longer, that's for sure. Here's our rear power pickups from the trucks. And the red is in the front, and the black is in the back. Gotta find a better way to get those off. Will this work? These are coming up from the bottom. Twisted them around. Yeah, they just don't make it so you could get in and work on it very easy. There he is. There's that little black one I lost. Now, that is better. I thought I'd just do a shell swap. Get this in a road name that I'm modeling, Union Pacific. But I think it's going to be better to find a guy that's got a UP he don't want and he'll trade me for an SF. I'm sure that wouldn't be that big of a hassle to pull out, but, you know, make our lives easier. I mean, geez. Black was in the back, red was in the front. Starting to get a lot of screws, so we're going to do these to protect, hold everything, organize it all. Body. There's this one. That's body for this thing right here. Trucks. Sure. Get better couplers in there. Can't get my fingernails underneath of it. There we go. This off screen, you can't even see what I'm doing. Let's start taking this stuff out. The speaker, this giant weight up front here. It's got a lot going on. It's funny, when I want them to be magnetized, they won't be. So if I do this and do this, can I get it? Will it stick it? No. Oh, sure. Another screw here. Now what's going on? Nothing. Speaker just fell out. Oh, now this is moving. Okay, the wires come up through that square right there. I'm more like talking to myself than anything. So those two screws just held the speaker in. Oh, and this comes apart. Let's put this back together right now. Now that I see how it works, it's got these two fingers right there. Oh, now, so it kind of pivots in like this. One screw is all that's needed to take that out. I, of course, had to go the extra mile, but I did it for science. All right, so that's back. There's our weight and our sound device. One screw is all that's needed right there. Take that out. Now it just looks like just the old, oh, see, we lost a wire right there off this drive. Yeah, nah. Red, green, black, red, blue. That's got a lot of, that must be like a five pole skew. I want to take this cover off, just like any old blue box has ever been. If I can get up underneath of it like this and work it. Don't break nothing. There. Bushing blocks, drive line, yes. That truck's gonna come out, fantastic. Get this out of the way. Side frames are scaring me. They should just come off, yep. Ain't much difference at all. Top cover, come up under here to get this one out. Oh, right on the floor. Another one over here. Same thing, and then the one on the bottom. It's underneath. So here's these side plates right here. Hopefully my head hasn't been in that shot the whole time. They're picking up the juice from the bushing blocks. And the side plate is kind of covering up the latches where you got to get in there and unhook these. So I got like one of my smallest screwdrivers to try to get in here and get underneath that and unhook a latch. There, so now half of it is unhooked. I think my dog is wanting in. It's gonna keep coming off. It's cold outside. I'd want to come inside too. Okay, right there, working it over. Loving it. That is just like the old school stuff. Now they put these on like this because, I don't know, maybe they don't know how to solder. But I hear a lot of guys will go by and solder these things on because it makes it better. It makes it so the juice just is gonna flow like it's supposed to. So I guess that's a personal opinion. I think I'm going to solder them on though, because I can. There's some guys out there I talk to that don't have soldering skills and they're afraid of it. I'm like, don't be afraid of soldering. I go, that's the part of the hobby. It's just like a glue. It's like a hot glue, but with metal, and you got to have everything clean. Is really all it is. And you got to have a good soldering iron. Don't buy some little pile of 15-watt thing from the freight store or something like that, because that's not going to do you. You're not going to be happy. There's another clip right up here in the top. So this has got one more clip than I'm normally used to. Come on now. Come up from underneath. Maybe I can get underneath of it, pry it off. Well, you are being a pill. Oh! Didn't fall on the floor, fell on my lap. That one. Now the gear tires can come apart. They look like anything that's ever been around. I see some light oil on it. It looks like all four of these gears are all the same size. And I can't get the side frame. It's just not wanting to. Here's the inside pins right there. And it is stuck. Nope, now it's starting. Now we got something going on. Come on. Makes me wonder if somebody glued them. Because they can sometimes fall off. Ah, did I break it? Yes. Dang it. Well, it'll be glued now. So now we just tore apart a Genesis truck. Yeah, it's been re-engineered. It's pretty nice. I dig it. I'm still going to mineral spirits just to clean up any little oil residue that's in there. And we're going to super lube this thing. Super lube's a little thicker. So, of course, it'll put a little more of a draw on it to get the thing going. But you should be able to adjust the variables in the programming of the DCC board for the voltage that it applies and be able to overcome the extra resistance. It could be oiled up with light oil, but I just think the grease is going to be a better deal. I'm going to glue that on with some of this plastic weld because that stuff is the bomb. But I got to figure out which way it came off. Fight around with that. I'm going to clean this up and then we'll be back for assembly. Well, it only took one Q-tip to clean this whole thing out. I mean, there was nothing really in it at all. I'm going to put it back together, pulling out some of the super lube. Comes with its own serving tray. Toothpick. And we're just going to touch up these posts here, shafts. The gear reduction shaft, these things. They all need just a little bit, just a touch. Big gear up in here, little gears the rest of the way around. I like to put a little on top of these gears. Just a little bit less than too much. Now, they didn't have any on them, and it could be that the factory decided they don't need them. I have heard that nylon gears do not need lubrication, but yet it doesn't stop me from lubricating them. I'm going to keep putting it on until I can see a little sheen on all the gears. Yep. Once those are all put back together, we can start snapping this whole thing into place. All these keepers up on the top. Yump. These here, I just had the old odorless mineral spirits and just went around them. They don't look dirty. They're nickel silver. I mean, I don't think there's really even any reason to polish them with the old fiberglass pencil. They've been used a lot. I can see that. If you had really funky wheels, of course, every time I skip a step, then I regret it. Maybe I'll go ahead and polish all these and then we'll come back. Probably the best thing to do. There's this nice feller named Steve Gerber that sent me these things here. They're like wire wheels, but they don't have the wires in them. The last time I used one of these, I was getting them all over in my chest and it hurt like a bugger. So he ordered these in from Amazon. They look like this. The package showed up. The dog got a hold of the package, chewed it, didn't eat the package, but this was laying in the driveway, the box. And then the little lady didn't see it and she promptly ran it over. Knew she ran something over and she went out there and she picked it all up out of the snow and brought it into me. Took me a while to figure out who sent it, but I figured it out. So thank you for sending this in. And I've got the lightest grit in it, the 2500 grit, according to these colors right here. And I'm going to use that and see if I can polish these wheels or clean them up or just a little something. So I don't have to do so much handwork, The fiberglass pencil's nice, but it's slow. And this is it's taking that wear ring out of there. Oh, these are quite nice. Probably going to lose all the traction though. See that? You can see that wear ring. I thought it just wore through the nickel plating, but I can actually buff that right out of there. Not so much on this side, but I can see that the wheels are getting a lot cleaner. And with a 2500 grit, we're not putting in micro pits on them like guys like to say. So this looks like a pretty good deal here. A pretty good deal indeed. Those little things are the bomb. Absolute bomb. These shined up so nice. Holy moly, they're like a new penny. Now the process of putting them in. Because the bearing blocks, they like to mess with you. Nope. Never an easy way. Twist it. There's one. Now I should drop this. Make sure I do it again. Now these are insulated because of this gear in the center right here. So you can throw these in any direction you want, and you're not going to have any short outs taking place. Oh, I get it? Okay. Well, that took forever. Now I want to oil these bushings. Like usual, we're going to come in here. This is at an angle. I can give it a little drip taste right here. We're going to hope that it runs in. Heck, I can't even spin them or nothing. Not at this angle. Try to get some gap right in there. Oh man, okay. Then I just want to give them a little wipe of the super lube on the gears. The inside gears will help, also, but we need to get these so they're just not going to start out just dry. Sure. Then get this little feller and get them all sealed up. Those gears are lubed. Put these buggers back on. I almost put that one on upside, put it on the wrong side. So I didn't remember these went around and touched into there. Never did get that pin glued on correctly. Is there enough to hold it? Sure there is. So detailed. Look at the detail on this. Golly. We're gonna get these wires here soldered on both sides. Probably put the truck back in the frame. Takes a while to get them pins heated up, but I believe that's going to work for us. This one's a little long, sticking out in there. Wires in, get it on the bolster pin, get our drive line in. This has got the little pentagon. Pentagon? What is that? 6. Hexagon. Sure. Get that in the flywheel drive. Once again, lined up the bushing blocks. Give the bushings a taste of oil. Give the worm gear a little blob of grease, the super lube. Get this cover on. Somehow I got some on my fingers and I put it all over everything else. And this guy serviced. Oh, I should have made it where one wire is on one side of the drive line and one wire is on the other side of the drive line. Like so. Now all I got to do is the same exact thing on the front. I won't bore you guys with that, with filming that. But that's what I'm going to do, and then we'll almost be done servicing this. It ran, but it was glitchy, and now it's serviced. So this is something that has to happen to all your locomotives. If you've had it for 5 or 10 years, it's time to take it apart and give it some loving. It needs it. It wants it. Make it go a long time. So now we got our chassis all serviced up, lubricated, wheels are cleaned. It's as happy as it could possibly be. Let's get this mess back in. This seems to snap over the top of the motor. And then we got stuff that goes on it. So do I want to solder those on? I kind of do. I really do. Just takes no time at all. Since we had to put these rear pickups through this weights right here, we really want to make sure we got the right wire, because that would make a mess out of that decoder real fast. I got the speaker wire caught up underneath there. Arg. Last pickup on the truck. Speakers are plugged in, and I really like where that speaker wire is at. I gotta fix it. We're gonna put some solder wick on here, get that soldered up. Okay, so we can get this wire out. We can get this wire out. We can get this wire out, there. Get this wire up on the top. Trying to do good wire housekeeping. This red wire here, I believe it to be the antenna for that wireless remote, because it just didn't really go anywhere. It just was just here. These motor wires have never been tinned, and they are very, very short. Let's help them out some. Well, now we got all the wires soldered in. Now it's time to put her back together. Hopefully they're up out of the way. Careful. Oh, okay. The thickness of just a wire sometimes will harsh your gig. Put these little hidden gems in. Everybody still moves? Sure. This big bugger. Fantastic. I still keep tweaking all these stupid railings. And these couplers, I'm just going to get some short Katie's to put in there. Of course, these here, when you consist, they're not all, see, the springs fell out. Ick. They're just icked. Katie 148 standards. I'm guessing like this. Hopefully they're long enough. I'm not getting much sprint. Oh, dang it now. Slide that in like toast in a toaster. And they're not, they're too short. Yep. I got the box on the top and the lid on the bottom. Yeah, we're going to have to do the longs. 146 whisker longs. Those are going to be too long. It's going to look silly. Oh my God. It's definitely out there, that's for sure. And it doesn't work like I'd hoped for it to work. Did I screw the screw too tight? Kind of, yeah. Yep, I did. That's not... Had you almost do like a medium long or something. Jeez. I'm going to keep messing with these here. Get our couplers on. Here's what our railing looks like now. 2 coats. I think maybe 3 coats on this side. After I painted it, I moved it so it wouldn't like glue itself into the paint. Oh, man. Matches up good. What do I got to do? How do I... Maybe I'll use this little guy. Let's see if we can push that in. I don't... Too much detail. I like the big metal ones, the old blue boxies. Sure, they were 3 times thicker than they should have been, prototypical, but you could sure handle, you could touch them. Because I guess I'm sort of pulling this off. I guess I could touch these too. To be quite honest, I can't believe how easy this is. And I know that the paint added a little thickness to the pins that I'm putting into the chassis, but it still isn't having too much of... It's easy, is what I'm saying. Okay, it just got hard. I ran out of area to pull it. There we go. Here, this get one more. Come on. We're almost there. Why? What's this guy do? He's going to go in a whole... Jeez, this is really... Whatever they make these out of nowadays... Oh, golly, I pushed it too hard. Ah, I knew it. Jesus just wouldn't let me have it. I'm not even sure what I did. I think I wiped out the entire hole. I got cocky. This is why I can't have anything nice. It was in there too, and I just couldn't stop farting with it. Okay. How's it for straight up and down? Looks about as pathetic as the other side. That spray paint matched though, didn't it? Yeah, that worked. Let's get her over to the track. We've had a lot of fellers send in some pictures of their American patriotic themed trains out there. Here's this week's installments right here. Here's a shot from Dale Frischetti out there. He's got himself the Tyco Bicentennials, the Locomotives, and the boxcar sets there. Looks like this one here is finished up with the lifelike Bicentennial caboose. Here's a layout from John Peter Michael. I visited with him for quite some time on the Horn. This here's an S-gauge layout. Great looking thing. Oh, he's got so much stuff going on up here. Looks like there's a Christmas train up on the top. And then there's some American passenger cars that were coming around. I didn't write down the information and it leaked right out of my head. So I'm pretty sure it is, because I wouldn't have submitted it if it wasn't some sort of a freedom train or something like that. Speaking of freedom train stuffs, here's Chad Trammell's little layout here. And all the American stuff that he's got here, he's got some amazing looking GG1s up there. The Lionel American Freedom Train. The passenger cars I'm not familiar with. It's got the Bachmann Freedom Train. Just a ton of really nice stuff. So thank you guys for sending out these wonderful pictures. If you guys have got some cool looking patriotic themed trains, ship them down to me. You can either message them to me on the Facebook Messenger at Classic Model Trains, or you can email them classicmodeltrains@aol.com. So last night I was sitting around familiarizing myself with the DCC system in this thing. When I first put it on the track, it still had a lot of them weird quirks to it, which of course it would, because it's, you know, I didn't change any of the programming on it. So in my power cab manual, I went through this back page and it shows you we're gonna do some programming. We're gonna use a program track. And I come down here and I did a recovery program to it, which is supposed to set all the CVs back to its normal program. And it didn't. It was more messed up than ever. It wouldn't even move. So we got this really nice paperwork that came with this locomotive. And then it has all of its CVs and what they're supposed to be from a factory value. So I went through it line by line and typed in all the CVs, and of course the bell sound changed and the horn sound changed. And we get down into here, and then of course the very last thing, but it doesn't tell you what number. Oh, set it to 0. All right. So I did that, and it wouldn't move. So then I took CV8 and set it to 0, and it still wouldn't move. But then I noticed this speed curve setting right here, and I had it set at linear. And what that did is when you'd sit there and you'd ramp this thing up and you'd ramp it up, you'd have to get it up to about 18. And then the locomotive would start to creep along and then gain up speed, and the motor's all revved up to beat the band. And I'm like, well, that's neat, but if that's how they work in real life, I don't really like it. So I kept changing these, and I went to slow increase at slow speed, and I was kind of happy with that. And then there's also another setting down under here, CV122, that changes the way the sound is with everything. And it was just like a 3-hour long process. Let's see and mainly because I was just learning what to do with it. I've not programmed in the long address on it yet, so we're just still sitting at 3. And then another thing about it that's quirky is that these settings right here, they say to start it, F8 shuts it down, double click F0 to turn it on sound, and it's like, okay, so just the weirdest things. So we're gonna double click 0. But then the thing here says the lights are on, which they are. I had to reprogram my thing here because for some reason the bell never stays where it belongs. So that's where it's supposed to be. This doesn't latch on anymore like it was. And then number 3 is this little fella right there. So far, everything is doing what it's supposed to do to the directions. But it's not normal with other DCC things that I've used. Let's go backwards and let's see how this thing... See, I've got it where it gets to getting right away. So somehow the speed parameters have changed quite a bit. But if I do go to 1, it stops. But if I go to 2, yeah. But this is just what it always does. But now it's maintained, and it's ready for just a whole nother. See, now I'm wrapping up. So it takes it longer. It's now what are you doing? Really? Did you get stuck on something? Yep. Let's see what it does for the shutdown. How's my momentum? Oh, it's bad. Okay, stop. stop. Oh. Yeah, I think I got the momentum jacked up pretty good on it. What do we gotta do to see this? Go the other direction. Full bore. Nothing. It's because I hit the emergency stop button. Oh, there it goes. Dang it. I hit the emergency stop button to reset it and... Alright. Try that again. I mean, who do we gotta... This is new. What the heck was that all about? Normally you don't have to give them a little push. I guess that's I got my momentum turned on. I'm gonna turn the momentum off to 0. Isn't that something? You see, I've got this all slammed in. Almost broke off. God, I hate these things. I guess we gotta figure out what's going on. Because it was working just fine last night. I changed absolutely nothing. And now... Direction, forward. I don't know. All I did was pull it off the track. Well, one truck kind of derailed and then it shorted out and stopped. So then I put it on this direction. And now it's doing exactly what the person would expect it to do. Unbelievable. Double tap A to put her to bed. Double tap, is that what it said? Double click. 8. Good Lord. Let's go with this one. Oh. Button number 6, headlights. Button number 6, headlights. Wow, okay. Well, we got her going backwards. Turn her the other way. Button number 6 now, headlights. There we go. Sure. It's neat to see it doing both of them. DC throttle and DCC. And it worked before and it works still, and hardest part is just keeping the throttle up 50-60%. Sound don't match it quite as spot on, but I always find the sound kind of annoying after a while anyway. Huh. Too much fun. This is one of those DCC things that why some guys absolutely hate them. because they're so quirky. This one is extra quirky because of the way that it is. I've had some information. When I make these, you know, I film it all, and then all the parts that you see me standing up at talking to you is filmed the next day. This is Sunday right now. So I found out why it was such an awkward thing. Digging around on the Google machine, I got into some old forums from back in 2009, 2010. There's no way I can just remember this and then regurgitate it to you, so I'm just going to read it off. This decoder is the first generation MRC's first attempt to make a sound decoder, and it's not very successful attempt, to say the least. The decoder cannot be reset, as the reset function is not in the decoder. The recommendation from MRC was to write the default setting back to the decoder. The only CVs used was 1, which is short address, 2, start voltage, 3, accelerate, 4, decelerate, these are the CVs, 17, long address half, 18, long address half, this will come up shortly, 19, the consist address, and 29, the short address. You cannot program a long address directly to the decoder, but need to calculate the hex value of the address and then write CV17 and CV18 separately. It's not easy to explain, but program a normal decoder with the long address you want to and read the values of CV17 and CV18 from this decoder to input in the MRC decoder. This is some guy. This isn't like MRC. Some guy wrote this in a forum. So, okay. So you take another decoder, take another loco, program it to the number that you want to program this one to, and then go in there and look at the CV values, write them down, and then come back and program them into this one. Ooh, doggy. There's no acknowledgement signal sent back when the decoder attempts a CV change, and you can't read the CV settings back from the decoder. Yeah, so I guess the best thing to do is, if you know that you've got one of these initial well, you will. If you got one of these with your Locomotive, you want to put a soundtrack tsunami in it, is what you're going to want to do. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. This week's classic model is the quintessential girl next door, Jodie Foster, from back in the 70s. She looks like she was in movies forever and ever. And then she looked like she was 15 when she was like 28. So hopefully I got the right picture, in there. We're down here. I want to thank the 33%ers once again. But we've got a bunch of new people that showed up. There's been like over 1,000 people in the last month that have subscribed to the channel, which is fantastic. But they don't know what a 33%er is. Well, this graph right here from the YouTube shows you that the video, everybody starts out at 100%. But you notice that it goes down steeply within the first 30 seconds. That's because of all the auto playing that happens if you hover over it just a second over the thumbnail, it starts to play. And then you're like, you're looking, and then it just counts 8 videos with a 1 second watch time, and then it hurts your analytics. I know. But when you settle in, apparently you're settled in about 30 to 45 seconds in, and you're going to watch the video. Well, you can also see that the graph goes down. But the people that stick till the end, the very end of the video, it always ends at 33%. It never ends at 45. It does go down to 25 if it's a really old video. People don't really watch 1 or 2 year old videos as much as the new ones. But it never goes up. Yeah, I've never seen a 50% or 65% or 42%. It's 33%. You guys are the ones that watch it till the end. If I don't quit talking, it's going to be lower than 33% here too. It's been a long video. Thank you, everybody. 33%ers. Thank you to the channel members out there. Thank you very much. Some guys wonder, how do I become a channel member? There's a join button underneath the screen. You got to go to a computer, is what I'm saying. It looked like that right there. That won't be there. That won't be there. But that would be there. If you're watching it on a TV, through a Roku or the smart TV, you're missing half the video. You're missing the description, which always has my mailing address, my email address, talks about the video, talks about stuff. For your best viewing experience, watch this on a computer. True story. I'm Ron, Classic Model Trains. Bye-bye.